Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Will the Dragon Whisperer with another video from a YouTube channel. I'm super stoked because I'm going to be handling my two arachnids in this video. I have Shadow, my Emperor Scorpion. I'm not sure of Shadow's age. He does fluoresce very intensely in the black light, and all the research I've been able to find say that they have to reach their first molting stage of adulthood before they will glow. The babies and the sub-adults usually don't. So I know that he has at least reached that stage of his life, but I'm not sure of his exact age. I also have Cinder, my Asian forest scorpion that I just got a few days ago. Now in this video, I'm going to try to go over the care of scorpions, as well as multiple techniques to pick up and handle your scorpion, as well as the differences in behavior compared to what I've read in the research that the behavior is supposed to be for these species. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the video. It'll be informative, and I hope I don't get stung, but we'll just have to see what happens. So stay tuned, guys, and here comes a video on scorpion care. I'm also going to go over some anatomy and scorpion handling. Here we go. Okay guys, here you see I have my Emperor Scorpion Shadow. I'm gonna put him on the wood here, and I will show you guys multiple ways to pick him up and handle him. As you'll see, he's got his pincher right there on my finger. He may pinch me. They're most likely going to use their pinchers way before they're going to use their stinger. He may just pincher right off onto the wood, but he's not so sure of things, and these guys' eyesight is pretty bad. So they see like movement, but they don't really key on things or really notice things around them unless there is movement. So see, he's kind of checking out his surroundings by feel right now, and see now he sees the wood's not a danger, so there he goes. And I just got this really cool LED black light flashlight. Now I found this thing at Petco. And what's interesting, I'll give you guys a little secret that may save you a lot of time, is that they sell this in the dog section where they have stuff for pet urine stains and stuff for your carpet, because this is actually called a spot spotter, and it's marketed and intended for you to use this to find the urine spots that your pet may have placed on your carpet while you were not home. So sorry, I had to grab Shadow, but as you will see, these guys are really intense with the black light, and Shadow just fell. Okay guys, we're back. We had a few technical difficulties there. Mr. Shadow decided he wanted to jump off the table, so I'm going to point a few things out on these guys. This is the Achilles, or the stinger. It's kind of hard to see there. You guys can probably see it better. And that's on his telson. That is the venom sac right there. Obviously they have the 8 legs because they are arachnids. The pedipalps here, the pinchers, and the abdomen. And they actually have what's called a cephalothorax. Their head and thorax, that part of their body, their head and thorax are actually fused together right there. They're not two separate entities. So I'll show you a few guys, I'll show you guys a few ways to handle your scorpion now. Now if you have a pair of tongs that you have wrapped, or the softer, like more plastic style like these, you can actually use those to pick the guys up. And you want to get them, you want to get these guys right there, right where the stinger is. And as you'll see, this guy's really quick. So it's kind of hard to get them with the tongs, because you want to be able to regulate. Well, he's really getting out of control. You want to be able to regulate how intense you're grabbing them, so it's hard to do this with the tongs, especially when it's a smaller scorpion like this guy. So you really, if you're going to pick them up by the telson or the tail there, you want to use your hand, and these guys are supposed to be more docile than the Asian forest scorpion, but as you can see with Mr. Shadow, he is super defensive. He's always ready, but he's just moving fast, and he's using those pinchers, and he always has them in a defensive posture. But if you guys have noticed, he hasn't struck with that stinger one time. It's not a part of their defense mechanisms. So it's more with the claws. But if you see here, when you pick him up with the hands, you just want to be quick. It's a lot easier if you can distract him with something from the front. But as you'll see there, he's super quick. But you want to be just as quick as him, and sometimes if you take long enough, they'll curl back that and like that, and they'll curl their back like that, and they will try to get you with their pinchers. One of the easiest ways, and you won't take the risk of getting pinched and them curling back on you, is to distract them from the front, and they can't sting from the back. So if you can distract them from the front, you can get these guys usually to. Shadow is so sporadic. I think it's because he's a juvenile, but this guy's super sporadic. And even though his stinger is bumping into me there, he was not going to sting me. And now you guys can see he's on my skin, and without the glove now, he knows not to fall off. But I'll demonstrate again if I can get him to cooperate. Right onto the hand by manipulating him backwards. Come on, Shadow. There we go again. See, he's not trying to sting me at all. He may try to pinch me, but the guy's not going to sting me. So that stinger is always out of the way. And we're going to put Mr. Shadow back in his enclosure, and then I'm going to show you guys the Asian forest scorpion.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snapped it. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
Okay guys, here you can see I have my Asian forest scorpion. He is considerably larger than Shadow. And so this is Cinder. I just named it last night. Still not sure if it is a male or female. I have determined a way to sex them. You can do it by pincher size and by the length of the tail, but the easiest way is they have some small little hairs on the bottom. The females are a lot shorter. It's about this part of the thorax on the underside. I'm going to get a piece of glass or plexiglass so that I can be able to place them on there and then get some shots from the bottom close up so that I can determine the sex for this guy and Shadow. I'm pretty sure Shadow is a male. The emperor scorpions you can tell a little easier because of the size of their pinchers compared to their body size. The males have a little bit bigger pedipalps, but the Asian forest scorpions are a little harder to tell in that respect. There's some difference between the sexes as far as the body size compared to the tail and the tail length, but without having multiple ones to compare it to, and this is the only one I have, that's hard to determine using those parameters. So in the future I will be doing a video on the sexing of these guys. But as you can see, definitely considerably larger stinger, larger tail, and if you do your research, everything says that this particular species, the Asian forest species, are a lot more aggressive than the emperor scorpions, and it may have something to do with age. Like I said, these guys max out at 5 inches, probably more like 3, maybe 3.5, but as you can see, this guy's way more calm than Shadow. Shadow was already running all over the piece of wood, already hit the deck on the floor probably at this point in his portion of the video. But Cinder's very calm. He likes to just chill in his hide, and I'll show you the multiple ways once again to handle your scorpion with Cinder, who's supposed to be the more aggressive of the species. But as you'll see with Shadow, as soon as I got anywhere near him to grab him, Shadow was going nuts. Cinder, I can actually touch his pedipalps and he won't even move or attempt to, you know, react. And same thing with his stinger and his tail. He really doesn't care. Finally got a little bit of a reaction there, but as you can see, obviously much different than the reaction I got from Shadow. And like I said, that could be the fact that Cinder is more at a more advanced age, so he knows he's had more interactions with things in his life and his environment. But I'll go ahead and show you much more easier to pick this guy up, and he usually doesn't curl back. It might have to do with the body weight. And then place him on my hand, and as you can see, Cinder is not running all around going nuts trying to find a way to get away, or exploring, which is probably more what Shadow is doing, just exploring what's around him. But Cinder is very calm, very laid back. So that's one of the ways, obviously, you can handle your scorpion. And like I said before, you can do it with the tongs. A guy like this, just a lot more calm. It would be easy to do that with these, but I'm not going to. I'd much rather handle them with my hands because I can feel the pressure. I don't want to squeeze too hard. Same thing as you'll see here, his head and thorax, they're joined together, they're fused on one part, and they have 4 little tiny eyes right there on the top of the head. They're super small. So like I said, that's one thing that limits their vision. And I'll show you guys, I don't know if you'll have the same reaction as you saw earlier in the video. Shadow really reacted to the black light. I don't know if this guy will, but got a little dirt on him. But as you can see, the intensity of the fluorescence that these guys can display. He's a really beautiful scorpion. I hope that's getting into focus. And I wish I could have showed you on Shadow. I'll try to show it in a future video, but as you'll see, these guys, pinchers or pedipalps, have a very smooth finish to their exoskeleton. The Emperors have a super cool kind of like a etching. It's kind of a weird scrolling type pattern of raised type of a finish on their pedipalps, and it almost looks like the scroll work you would see on like an old Western rifle or something, and it's really cool. The older they get, the more defined that scroll work is. You can see that guy's stinger pretty good there, hopefully. And once again, the 8 legs, just like an arachnid, which he does belong to the arachnid family. So, and I'll show the other way now to handle your scorpion. I'm gonna put him back down on the wood here, and then like he's a little different than Shadow because he doesn't get as upset, but I can back this guy right up onto my hand if he'll cooperate. There we go. That's probably the easiest way. Like I said, they cannot sting from behind. They can only sting from the front. So you can just use something to manipulate him from the front, and he'll back right up on to your hand. And like I said, this guy's surprisingly docile. I hope to acquire some more. There's a reptile show in the area, and please, you guys, stay tuned. I'm going to be going to the Repticon in Charlotte, and I hope to be making a video of the reptile show for my YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. And I still have the same challenge for my Emperor Scorpion video where I handled it for the first time. If that video gets 1,000 views, I will let my Emperor Scorpion give me a good sting and let you guys see what that's about and what that feels like. But I'm going to go ahead and place Cinder back in its enclosure, and I hope you guys learned a little bit about your scorpions. Now, I did say I would discuss care. These guys like their humidity to be around 60 to 80%. Come back a little bit, buddy. And you know, that's pretty easy to maintain if you use a substrate that holds moisture. They do like to burrow. I encourage using something like Eco Earth. Pack it down though, spray it with water between the layers, put an inch or so, spray it down, pack it, put another inch, spray it down, pack it. You want it to be of a consistency that they can dig in, and it's going to kind of hold its shape and not collapse on them. But like I said, humidity between 60 and 80 degrees. They like an ambient temperature of between 70 and 90. It's not a bad idea to put a heat mat, but you want to put it on the side of their enclosure, not underneath their enclosure, so you don't have to deal with the way the temperature radiates through the substrate. If you put it on the side, they can thermoregulate a lot easier without the chance of cooking them or overheating them. So they can be benefited by having a heat spot in their enclosure. And then you just want to give them 2 or 3 places to hide. They at least a minimum of 2. They usually stay in their hides most of the time. And like I explained in my enclosure video, you want to give them a small, shallow water dish with a sponge or cotton, something inside of it that they can draw water from and will keep them from drowning, something they can use to climb out of the water bowl if need be. And other than that, they'll eat insects, mealworms, small superworms, I mean, depending on their size, small crickets, dubia roaches. But these guys are super, super hardy. They will only eat maybe once every couple of weeks, and like sometimes Shadow, he'll only eat once a month. They're very picky as far as how often they eat, and they can go up to 9 to 10 months without eating, and that's not unheard of, and that won't harm them. It's even been documented of these guys going an entire year without consuming a meal and still being okay. So they can slow their metabolism and slow their internal stuff down so that they are using hardly no energy, and they just sit still in their hides, and they can literally go weeks and months on end without having to eat or drink. So that's pretty easy as far as the care goes. I mean, you can feed your scorpion an entire year for under $5, so it makes an incredibly easy animal to care for. They don't really require UVB or basking light, so an enclosure, minimum of 10 gallons. Some people keep them in smaller enclosures. I think a minimum of 10 gallons. Shadow's in a 10 gallon. This guy's going to be in a 20 gallon. But the care for them is pretty basic. They are super, super hardy animals. So hope you guys learned something, and I'm going to get Cinder back in her enclosure, or his enclosure. Still don't know. Give you guys one more shot of Cinder in the black light. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I thought it was super exciting. It's always exciting interacting with the scorpions. I hope you guys saw that I showed some easy techniques to pick up the scorpions, to handle your scorpions. Hopefully that'll give you guys some confidence to be able to interact with your scorpions as well. As you can see, the scorpions were not aggressive with their stingers. During the entire interaction with both species, neither one ever struck a single time with their stingers. It's not something that you have to worry about. I would recommend having someone with you in the room or the house if you are going to interact with your scorpions barehanded. In the unlikely event that you were to get stung, you would want someone to be there if you were to have an allergic reaction. That's super rare, but it's best to have someone there just in case that happens. I always have someone at least in the house when I'm interacting with my scorpions. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about scorpion care. I hope you guys learned some techniques of how to pick up your scorpion and interact with it barehanded. And I hope you guys learned how to keep your scorpion enclosure so that your scorpion is happy and healthy. Please stay tuned, like and subscribe, hit the notification button. This is Will the Dragon Whisperer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm out.